I put on my metrics glasses, all my analytics glasses for all those nerds out there.
But Thomas Bryant's jockstrap, get him out of here!
How does that not indicate to you, like, hey, sometimes, like, these prospects are awesome?
Donald, get back! They snatched that chain, boy. Get back! What's all gonna do about it? Popeye snatched that chain. Get back! We want that snack wrap. They got 3 flavors. Y'all got 1. Get back!
Hey everybody, welcome into the Big Factor here on the Big Plays Sports Network, presented by FanDuel. Ryan Tyler, Jack O'Rourke, Nick Padone, and Rob Watson. Today is Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025. Gentlemen, I am back in the great state of Ohio. How are we?
It's about damn time.
Well, thank you for that. Welcome back. I had a great time. Thanks for asking.
It's about damn time.
I already asked you, so I didn't want to just like have a fake conversation on air because I did inquire about where where were you at again? Sorry, the B, I believe.
Yes, I was in Bradenton, Florida.
And it was southwest is what you
What's
claim.
hidden out there
Southwest.
in Bradenton? What you get into?
It's between.
What was your favorite side dish,
fast
Ryan?
wide receivers out that way.
It's between. Yeah, I was
Jerry Jeudy's from
actually
Florida.
scouting. It was between. IMG Academy is located in Bradenton, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay.
It's,
Way to get down there.
Between Sarasota
Carnell, right?
and Tampa
actually.
Bay. Yeah, Carnell Tate.
and Nine himself.
Nine went there?
Yeah.
I went and talked to Carnell's high school coaches to get a feeling, and I'm reporting back to Andrew Barry to make sure they went to his birthday party.
He better not be here.
And they all did go to his birthday party. So we are drafting Carnell Tate. Breaking news. Guys, I'm happy to be back in Ohio. I feel like I've missed so much here between
Yeah,
the
shit.
Cleveland
You did.
Browns, the 49ers slacking, Lane Kiffin kind of turning the college football landscape on its head.
Him.
BYU apparently Crumbl Cookies coming in to save their head coach.
Whatever that
That
means.
was pretty interesting in the NIL era, but I'm glad
I'm
to be
also.
back. But I wanted to ask you guys because something's going on with Dylan Gabriel's, is it fiance?
Yeah.
So can someone catch me up to speed?
All right, let me give you like the short Cliff Notes version of this. Okay, I'm gonna try my best. So Dylan Gabriel's fiance, she does that good little get ready with me, wife and girlfriend TikTok.
The wags.
for the TikTok vibes.
For those
you know what I'm saying?
unfamiliar.
This past week, she was a little tiffed as she started off her video.
Yeah.
She started off her get ready with me, saying, my fiance Dylan's not starting. I have some thoughts about that, but I'm not going to share those. A little interesting comment that could have been left out of the video. That got people going a little bit.
She's trying to hit the minute limit to get the
She was
monetization.
talking about how she wanted to see, was Kyle Juszczyk's wife at the game?
Yeah,
but
Juszczyk's
she was
wife and
saying,
Kittle,
like,
I think, too, is the other
she was
one.
saying, but who wants to fly into Cleveland? A little
Who vacations in
little
Cleveland,
rough,
Rob?
little rough. No one does, but you're here, your guy's here. We drafted him. You can be a little nicer about it. So then later on, some people saw some of these comments they were getting on Dylan's, fiance in the comments. They were like, "Yo, Dylan's mad trash. Dylan was 1-5. Dylan sucks." And she started responding, but one comment stuck out above the rest. She responded to someone saying something along the lines of, "Oh, he sucks. You all think he sucks, but everyone in the building wants to see him playing, and you've never played football, and you're not a couch," but she meant coach, so you wouldn't know. That's what really got the stories going. Everyone's like, wow, why is Dylan telling her this? Because everyone just assumed that she got her information from Dylan, and now everyone's trying to figure out who in the building doesn't want Dylan to start. Why did she say that, and why she felt so comfortable saying that, and, that's just where we are now. It caused a little bit of drama in the streets.
It's always an interesting time when Cleveland Browns significant others get in the woodwork. It's funny, we were talking to Trey Essex and Charlie Batch, and they were talking about how,
Who might be coming back is
when the team isn't good, it's just straight drama. And I said, well, Trey, that's by week 4, week 5 for us in Berea. That's usually how it goes. They're suffering that in Pittsburgh as it's week 14. But we always get that before Halloween usually is when the drama starts because the Browns are usually so bad. So it sounds like she's defending her man, but the execution was poor.
I mean, that's one way to say it. Yeah, for sure. It's definitely fucking poor. I mean, you just
well,
like.
what did you think of it, Jack?
I think it was a terrible look across the board because you're put in a position, whether you are an athlete or you're related to an athlete or you're about to get hitched to an athlete, where you understand what comes with it. The to whom much is exalted, much is expected, right? You're held to a different standard of who you're applying to, what you're saying, knowing that everything you're said as a quarterback's fiance is going to be magnified if you choose to speak publicly. There's nothing wrong about her defending her man or speaking publicly or choosing. I mean, she should feel that her guy should be out there, But
I forgot something. I forgot one of the captions of one of the videos was
Browns
lose
again.
What's new?
Yeah, you can't fucking say that.
She just did one too many, bro.
That.
She did. Well, one was too many, but she did about 4 too many, and she was just dragging it, bro. And then top that all off by saying no one in the building supports the current starting quarterback. You just can't do that, bro.
No, it was a very, very bad look. And like Rob, you made a great point. We were talking about it with Phil Taylor before they did the Top Dog show yesterday. Like, even if he didn't say a word to her and she just got a little hot and said, you know what, I'm going to defend my guy here for a second, right? Like, it's going to reflect back on him. You know, like it's not like they're going to go in there and go, I wonder if she was talking to Malachi Corley about who they want to be the quarterback, right? Like, no, it clearly would be Dylan Gabriel and nobody else. So it's a poor reflection.
Guys, I'll be honest. I would cut Dylan Gabriel. I would give Dylan Gabriel his unconditional release.
It is cause to
because if you're not doing anything on the field, you know the old adage in sports, 3 strikes, you're out. Strike 1 was during the preseason when he did his little entertainers versus competitors, and he had to make up with Shedeur Sanders on the team plane about that comment.
Wait, wait. Pause. I need to take it back a second. I didn't know that aspect of it.
So yeah, well, I mean, whether he meant something by it or not, they had to have a
there was
meeting
a report
of the mind
that they
saying
had...
that I didn't mean anything.
Okay,
by that.
I didn't know
and
that.
it makes you think that she was so comfortable to say that. What has he been saying? So it makes you think back to these things.
I wasn't aware.
Then
that they
strike
had
number 2 when he was named the starting quarterback and he dropped perfect timing and everybody thought, was that a shot at Shedeur or is that just convenient verbiage? And now this is strike number 3. You've got your significant other on TikTok pretty much saying that you should be starting over your fellow rookie in your class. You've already been benched and replaced because you weren't a threat to push the football down the field. I've got Dane Brugler at the Athletic having the Browns sacrifice a first-round pick to trade up 5 draft spots in order to select their quarterback of the future. What's Dylan Gabriel doing? Because really, in my opinion, I get that this is a smart kid that they like and they want around the organization for a long time. And if he's a 10-year backup in the league, it was worth a 3rd-round pick. He didn't look like a 3rd-round backup that I want around my organization, especially if all of this drama off the field is going to come with it. I'm good on Dylan Gabriel. I'm good.
His character has been really something to call into question this year, which is kind of crazy that out of the two, who you expected to be more drama with Shedeur, but I feel like he's shown much more maturity throughout all of this. I think back to him when he got hit in Pittsburgh, he's grabbing the dude's helmet, like these snarky comments, and now this being something that's came up. This isn't something you expected from the player that they just raved about the maturity and the whole thing about how we're going to move to having adults in the room at quarterback. This just isn't a good look on top of everything for someone who wasn't producing. So, I mean.
And I'll tell you this anyway, when you get a new head coach and hopefully a new general manager in here, but at least a new head coach, that dude's going to want his own guys. He's going to want his own veteran backup quarterback that's going to pair with the rookie quarterback that the Browns are probably going to take in the 1st round. So what are we doing here? We're wasting our time. We're creating unnecessary storylines, unnecessary drama, and we're giving the poison ball to the young guys on the roster that are actually contributing. Because now Mason Graham has to see that this is all how Cleveland Browns football works. Quinshon Judkins has to sit in offensive meeting rooms with 2 quarterbacks that probably don't like each other, even though they say the right things publicly. Like, what are we doing here? This never made any sense. Drafting Dylan Gabriel in the top 100 never made any sense. Just get rid of him.
Yeah, I was going to say, you blame the Browns pretty much for putting Dylan in that position, of being a top 100 pick. It never made
any sense.
Starting sooner than, obviously, Kevin Stefanski probably wanted him to with the trade of Joe Flacco. But, I mean, it's unique. Like, I can't think of another scenario where you have a quarterback drafted in the top 100, regardless of whether he probably should have been or shouldn't have been. That's kind of moot here. But, like, you have a quarterback who's an icon, right? Like, we talk about being famous in the NFL, like, great. Like, I'm thinking of guys, like, who are phenomenal, right? Like, George Kittles of the world. Like, I don't know, even Myles Garrett's, like, they're not probably transcending the football field, but a guy like Shedeur Sanders is. And for him to be drafted 2 rounds later than Dylan Gabriel, you come into rookie training camp and you have the fellow rookie class all throwing up the wrist in a group photo where Dylan Gabriel's not in. Like, that's a damn unique position that I'm not sure anybody's ever been drafted to in the NFL. And of course, uniqueness is the Cleveland Browns way. I don't feel bad, but Yeah, I mean, it's a top 100 pick that's useless, and you're not going to cut him because
and
of that.
right, and like he's not going to do anything on the field for the team this year, and we know what this is. We know that right now Kevin Stefanski looks to be a dead man walking, and even if he's not, even in a world pie in the sky scenario where they give Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski yet another mulligan, Dylan Gabriel's not going to do anything in 2026. From Mary Kay Cabot on 92.3 The Fan yesterday was that if they decided to bring back Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry, it would be because this quarterback thing went the way that nobody thought that it would. They genuinely thought that they were going to win games early in the season with Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett. So the fact that it didn't work, maybe they get another chance, but should they? That doesn't really make a ton of sense to me.
The other, not to rip it too far back into Dylan Gabriel's fiance, but my head is just still stuck on whatever
Anybody
anger
got the
remains.
Name? What's her name?
Zoe, but I believe she goes by Zoe. Might be as well. So we'll go Zoe for the time being.
This is confirmed fiance.
Not calling her Zoe, not disrespecting Lonzo Ball like that.
Okay, fair. We'll go Zoe then. Zoe. Sorry to Lonzo. That's on me.
This is confirmed fiance.
Yeah.
Confirmed boo.
If that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it is, I think. But no, I mean, the way she came out too, and she was like, so not selfish. I think self-absorbed maybe could be the right word though for talking about Cleveland and putting fans in quotations and talking about like they're cheering when Shedeur comes into the game after Dylan got hurt. Like, of all, no one in the stadium knew that Dylan was hurt. Well, and this going back to the Ravens game, not last week when he also got booed when he came in, but like no one knew that, and people are just happy to see Shedeur. Well, like people like she tried to pull like a booing Deshaun Watson type thing almost.
Okay.
Which I thought was kind of bullshit.
Okay. Wow. The Real Housewives of Cleveland, Ohio, man. I'm telling you, the Browns are like a reality TV show. Well, they're going to be a reality TV show until they fix their quarterback problem, I would assume. But before we do that, I got to tell everybody about our friends over at Garage Beer. Garage Beer comes in just 2 flavors, classic light lager, as well as that classic lime. No frills, no bitterness, no IPAs. It's just beer the way you want beer to taste. So that is beer-flavored beer. So scan that QR code now or go give their website a visit, drinkgaragebeer.com, to find local retailers who sell garage beer near you. Again, that is drinkgaragebeer.com. All right, Nick, you alluded to it. Dane Brugler of The Athletic put out a mock draft because 'tis the season, and he has the Cleveland Browns trading their 2 firsts up to the Tennessee Titans to land that number 1 overall spot and take quarterback out of Indiana. Potential Heisman winner Fernando Mendoza. As it stands today, Cleveland has the number 5 pick from their 3-9 record. And then the Jacksonville Jaguars, 8-4, all the way up to number 26 in that first round. But again, Dane Brugler has the Browns trading both of those up to that number 1 overall slot to select what they hope is the quarterback of their future in Fernando Mendoza. Before we dive into that, let's just start at a base level. Are we all for, honestly, I'm going to go back even more. Has the Dylan Gabriel Shedeur Sanders experiment after the shellacking of the 49ers, has it locked us into the idea that the Browns will and have to take a quarterback in the first round next season?
I think Shedeur could still do enough. I really do. Over the next 5 games, I think Shedeur could still do enough. And I think the reason why I'm kind of wishy-washy on this Dane Brugler idea is because, like, we all know the Browns have way more needs than just quarterback. They need a receiver. They need an offensive lineman. Like, they have a lot of needs. So trading both first-round picks just to get Fernando Mendoza, like, okay, you're still going to have to address left tackle. You're still going to have to address receiver. And we don't know how a new head coach would feel about all of this stuff. So I will say, like, in the event that Kevin Stefanski is let go and it's a new head coach, I have to imagine that, Shedeur Sanders' time in Cleveland is up and Dylan Gabriel's is probably as well.
Real quick, guys, hate to interrupt. We got a little breaking news. Ohio State offensive coordinator Brian Hartline expected to become the next coach at South Florida. You guys didn't seem surprised. Was this in the working?
No,
it was out before the show went live, so I figured we would get to it at some point.
Oh, okay. I didn't even see it.
Do we want to talk about it real quick?
Schefter did just confirm, though.
I mean, this stinks if you're Ohio State. I mean, because Brian Hartline has been one of the best recruiters in college football over the last couple of years. I do have to say, like, this timing feels, if it ever was going to happen, okay, it happens now. Like, you probably just go out and bring back Chip Kelly as the offensive coordinator.
I was gonna say from the other lens, the other side of it though, for what it means for South Florida, I think it's an A+ hire. Like that's absolutely massive to go and get a guy like Brian Hartline, who's one of the best offensive recruiters in the country. USF is a program who, like, out of the group of 5 has totally separated themselves. They've spent more money on roster construction than anyone else in the group of 5. They just got new facilities. Like, that program is ready to, like, launch into what Boise State was for a while and UCF was for a while, being like that one elite group of 5 team who can hang with, like, the true top teams in the country. And I think that, like, this, like, really confirms what USF is trying to do.
All right. Well, I don't really have anything to say except congratulations to Brian Hartline.
Much deserved. He's a great recruiter. Obviously, Ohio State's going to carry on. They're going to keep doing what they're doing. But Brian Hartline, he was one of those guys. They were talking about Penn State trying to get him. So obviously, he was very sought after. He's proven he could do a lot, and look forward to seeing what he could do over at USF.
You know, it's great for Hartline. I do have, like, what is Penn State doing?
Brian Daboll, we talked about it yesterday.
I think it is Daboll.
Really
it has to be Daboll.
We talked about it
yesterday. I think it's the only way to make sense.
It will be a mess. Like we said, it will be a mess.
My other thought, possibly, on why they waited so long is, like, I do think a lot of the college head coaching search is also culture. Like, that's
did they wait so long intentionally, or did they just not want to? Did they not?
That's what I was going to get into. Is I think they might have intentionally. I think there's a chance it was intentional, because if you look at, like, Brian Kelly and LSU was never going to work from the start because it's a total culture mismatch. Like, if you look at all these coaches who have gone to new schools, be it Lane Kiffin or Sumrall from Tulane, like, it's a lot of Southern guys going to Southern schools. Like, it's a lot harder to hire these up north jobs. And I think also with, like, how topsy-turvy Penn State has been, like, the new rule that you have 5 days to transfer after you hire the new head coach. Like, I think with how up and down Penn State has been, they only have 6 verbal commits as of early National Signing Day for next season. Like, I think they were so worried about everyone just shit fleeing the roster that they were like, we're going to hold off as long as possible. Maybe the interim does something. Maybe we go get a hot name like Brian Daboll. Maybe Big Cookie doesn't outbid us for a new head coach. But no, I mean, it's a very odd world, and Nick, it doesn't make sense why they waited so long.
Like, to wake up this morning, people were door dashing Penn State, like, outside the athletic building, like pink Crumbl Cookie boxes. So you go into work this morning and you're greeted with a bunch of Crumbl Cookies as a reminder that you got outbid for BYU's head coach. And now Brian Hartline is going to USF, you know, a guy that could have stayed in the Big Ten. And I don't know if Penn State was interested in him. I don't know if they even met or anything like that. But I have to imagine that Penn State, like that feels like another miss for them. I don't know.
I mean, and even building on that too, like, if you look at what Pat Fitzgerald did at Northwestern for as long as he did, it comes out that, like, he didn't really do anything wrong. Obviously, they've had a couple of scandals in recent history over in Happy Valley, so maybe you want to go away from a coach like that a little bit. Yeah, but, like, Pat Fitzgerald was an A+ hire that was sitting right there too. So it's got to be Daboll or Manny Diaz from Duke, probably, who was James Franklin's DC. But, like,
Brian Kelly is still available.
They're not doing it. But, like, if Duke loses and goes 7-6 and loses the ACC title game, like, Manny Diaz inspires nobody. Maybe it is BK.
He might be.
BK would make them like Nebraska.
So where were we at with
Yeah, we'll get back to it. Also, I was gonna say, Nick, you said you think Shedeur can do enough to maybe hold off the Browns from drafting a quarterback. I can't. To be honest with you, I can't see that. Like, the way Shedeur isn't going to come out here and amaze. I don't think he is. I don't think he's ready to amaze.
Agreed.
And when you're looking at, okay, you're moving to Brook Park in a couple of years, like, one, I'm sure Jimmy wants his quarterback figured out and settled before you move to Brook Park. 2, yeah, what would we talk about? The only bright spot of this season is you have a phenomenal rookie class: Judkins, Schlesinger, Harold Fannin, Dylan Sampson at times. Okay, Andre Schmidt looks to be the part outside of week 1. You got to figure out your quarterback while you have this cheap rookie class, right? You just got to keep swinging until you miss. I don't see a world where they don't take a quarterback.
Like more importantly than the rookie class, the defense. Because if you sit around and wait forever, like, for the people that are out there that want to wait on quarterback and instead draft an offensive lineman, draft a receiver, like, I get that's a strategy that they can play. but that's another year wasted where you're probably not going to the playoffs. You could maybe win 7 or 8 games. You could, maybe with a veteran quarterback like Mac Jones. And then, like, what's that do? You're wasting another year of Denzel Ward. You're wasting another year of Nick Chubb. Like, with this defense ready to go right now, like, they're ready to compete for a Super Bowl. You got to fix this offense now, and you got to fix it fast, and you got to find a young blue chip quarterback like a Caleb Williams. Look at the Bears are the number 1 seed in the NFC right now, not the NFC North, the NFC, because they have a young blue chip quarterback and a really young roster that complements him. Like, Browns defense is ready to go. Fix this offense, and this could be you.
So let me ask you though, Nick, because what you cited in there, because I'm more in the camp of, I'm also not a massive Fernando Mendoza guy, but I am more in the camp of waiting on a quarterback, or at a minimum, at least not giving up 2 first-round picks to go get that quarterback, like waiting till 8 if there's still a quarterback there as well. Like you said, wasting another year because you're not going to go to the playoffs. Do you think there's a way you go to the playoffs with one of those rookies? Like, I don't think one of those rookies is going to push you any further than a Mac Jones.
The Bears are there in year 2. I'm still on it.
I mean, to be fair,
you could choose to go either way. I think you have a chance if you solve some other issues. What I fear is we trade up and we get a guy, and now we're wasting potential to actually get the stuff that we need around them to see if they are actually the guy, and then we have the same conversation the next season. That's what I don't want to see, is you're putting them out there, and then the whole year I got to hear about, Jerry Jeudy's not a number 1. Who is your receiver? Who's playing O-line? Who do you got? Who are your weapons? And then we're just having the same talk, and that quarterback might actually be good. I'm not saying yet that Shedeur could be the guy, or that Dylan's the guy, or that we got to go and we got to sign someone. But I'm saying that we will never truly get a look if you roll this offense back out and you only have a quarterback as your first-round pick, and then you spend your second premium pick on a tackle, and then by the time you want to get a skill position player, you're reaching in the 3rd round. That's not going to be what improves the team, and you're not going to have enough money to improve it enough through free agency to support whoever you pick. So it's a bad thing because you want to accelerate it and you want to get it done in a year, but truthfully, that's just impossible. Is really what the reality is that we have to deal with, and you need to look at the big picture. Now, if you sell me on, we're looking to get the team ready in 3 years, you pick Mendoza like the Bears picked Caleb Williams, and then you start rolling over, and that next year it's receiver, lineman, tight end, and where we got it, then it's okay, I can sell it on it. But if you're asking me what we could do in the draft to be a playoff team next year, I'm going to say absolutely nothing, because there's too many hills you got to climb.
Yeah, for sure.
So as long as they commit and they got a guy that they like, whatever position, if it's Carnell Tate, if it's a franchise tackle, if it's a quarterback, go do it. Do what you got to do it. But then you got to stick to it. Don't say if you draft Mendoza and he doesn't succeed next year because we still have Gage Larvidan and Malachi Corley and Jamari Thrash at receiver that he sucks. Maybe he needs weapons. Maybe he needs an O-line because we have no returning linemen next year and we're going to be starting Luke Whippler and Zach Zinter. That's just,
I hate being the look at the quarterbacks 2 years from now guy, because that shit never works out. But like, what if you go out and go tackle in Carnell Tate this year and Julian Sayin sitting there at the top next year, and then you have your Caleb Williams, but you also have a tackle and a number 1 receiver for him?
I understand that. I've convinced myself and subscribed to, you need a quarterback to succeed in the NFL. I do enjoy the thought process of having everything figured out, so then you can go ahead and insert said quarterback, and it's smooth operating from there. But the reality is sometimes it doesn't work out like that. Like the NFL,
ask the Vikings.
Look at
ask the Vikings.
I know that was I was really going to bring them up. Like, you look at how piss poor the AFC North is. Like, I don't know, throw in X quarterback, mediocre, the 15th best quarterback. I know this is such a debate. We always talk about this at Cleveland. It's nauseating. Like, you just need a game manager, whatever. But like, yeah, Minnesota, you go from Sam Darnold to 14 wins. You trade him, or he goes to the Seattle Seahawks. You finally enter 9, right?
It was
enter
just
9.
idiotic.
He stinks, and now you're looking at your season's over as December just starts. You're 4-8. Their season's over. They're not going to the playoffs. Like, I don't know.
My pushback is just we're not in that position. I'm saying
but you just have to keep doing it until one works out.
Ryan, I'm with you. And I also think another
I'm not
piece
saying
of this
don't
too
draft a guy,
is if
but
you're
Rob,
if you're trying to hire a head coach with $80 million of cap space, the only way you're going to get a head coach to sign up for this is if you say you could call your shot. You could pick your guy. Year 1, you're going to get your guy. Kevin Stefanski went 6 years, and according to some, he never got an opportunity to take his guy. So year 1, you're going to get your first round quarterback. You're pick of the litter. You get to do what you want. Because otherwise, I don't think that you're going to get a head coach worth a lick.
I'm not disagreeing. I am just saying that if they do this and then we're back and we're running guys and we're saying, oh, he's a bust after one season and they're not committed to it and we don't stick it out, that's the big problem. I don't want them to pick a guy and then we're hiring a new coach in 2 seasons.
That's a reason to just fire Kevin Stefanski.
Fire him, do it. But we also, I fear that even if we get a great quarterback,
I know
he might be a good guy, but we won't know, and that's the big problem. That's my big problem. How are we going to put any NFL talent around him if we trade up?
And sorry, that's the reality of it of being a Cleveland Browns fan.
That's bad.
That's the reality. Yeah. Like the Commanders, they were garbage at the trade deadline the year before they got Jaden Daniels. They traded their best player, Montez Sweat.
Is
their
anyone
defensive leader
enough in that draft to be a Jaden Daniels?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
I don't know. Like that's why I say everybody when they talk about the quarterback class, it's either ass or it's 1 year it's ass. 1 year it's you have 5 future Hall of Famers. It's like you don't know anything. So I like, and that's the part of being a Cleveland Browns fan is like, yeah, it sucks. You're probably going to draft a quarterback. You can't develop him. You got to keep trying. Because the end result of not trying or rolling with Dylan Gabriel and a 5th round pick in Short Sanders, people are gonna be mad. Sorry, that's always what he was. He was a 5th round pick. I didn't have an option to draft him earlier. Like you're gonna keep rolling the dice and you're gonna keep sucking.
I'm supportive of the roll the dice thing. I just want to see if maybe our dice rolls would have higher odds that it could be one of 3 guys if we actually had a number 1 receiver ever and a good tackle ever to pair with these people.
Because like, what do you?
I kind of want to see that, and because imagine how bad JJ McCarthy would look if he wasn't on the Vikings.
And that's the thing too is like awful. We're complaining so much about like as Shedeur guys a little bit. I think we can all admit that we are like, oh, like we were talking about Cedric Tillman can't get open for shit. He's got nothing on the outside. Like the line was good last week, but like. If you don't have any of these, like, how else are you going to improve the offense around the quarterback you're bringing in this offseason? If you're using 2 first-round picks to get him, so like then you're going off a second, a third, and negative $40 million in cap space to go solve this without any of them. Like you'd have you're going to get the kid fucking killed because you don't have no line.
Either path for me. I think he could do enough being Shedeur to show that if you want to draft and see what it could look like around him for a year, because be it as it is, he's going to be on a cheap deal. So if you could capitalize on that, you could build something around him. But if you're not, it's got to be a quick turnaround, and you still got to have a plan though. So you trade your 2 firsts for this quarterback. What's the rest of the draft look like? And then how do they approach it in free agency? Because I don't want to see you set this kid up to fail, and then he gets shell-shocked his first year. He gets beat up. Who's to say we put him behind this O-line, he doesn't tear his leg apart, and then we don't have him the next year, and then that year's wasted, or we're talking about we got to sign a guy.
They were going into the dome.
And we're going to do something. It's not doom and gloom, but it's rare you got 2 firsts in the NFL draft, and I want to see them make the most out of that. That could be 2 starters solidified. And one of them could be a quarterback who's saying I'm against.
I think
the
also like if you didn't,
that's really what's killing it for me is in this scenario is the trading up of the 2 picks. I think if you really want a QB, you could get somebody at 5.
So then
I also think part of it too is like the Deshaun.
In that scenario, keep Kevin. Because what the hell's a new coach going to come in here and do if he doesn't have a new quarterback? He's going to win with this team. I don't think so. If you're not drafting a quarterback, keep Kevin.
I'm saying you could get a guy at 5. Or is the only thing we're saying it's only Mendoza. He's the only way.
I mean, I don't know how they feel about Dante.
Or if they're losing out, who's to say we
Ty
don't
Simpson struggled over the last couple weeks.
And that gets to my point.
Yeah,
just fucking lose.
Because if we keep playing Shedeur and he proves he's not good, then we lose out. But then how do
if you're Jimmy Haslam, what do you approach Kevin and be like, hey, yeah, go lose to this team. We're also going to fire you. Like
supposedly he's done it before. Supposedly. There's been stuff
according
like
to Hugh
Jackson.
Jackson.
I think it'd be. I mean, this is a no shit Sherlock, but if you don't make that Deshaun trade, you give up all of those possible potential starters. Like you made a great point, the first rounders just being starters. Like at the bare minimum, you're getting a guy who's going to be out there for 4 years, helping your team, eating up one of the 22 guys you have to have out there. Like you miss out on 3 of those. Like if we hadn't just blown the shit out of 3 first-round picks for no reason on a pervert, like yeah, you could sit here and be like, yeah, we can trade 2 first-round picks up to try and go get a quarterback. But like when you go out and do that with the sex pest, yeah,
it's very hard to say, but my mindset is it's going to take 2 years no matter what. So you could take the year that
I think
if
it's a great
Carnell
point.
Tate's where he is in the draft and you get a solidified 1 and then you get a tackle with the other pick and you take that year to see what Shador could do with that talent and it doesn't work out, you will still be able to get a quarterback in
And
the
then
next
Jimmy
draft.
gets Arch after all along.
That's all. That's my whole thing. I'm willing to, at this one time, be risk adverse to possibly get 2 people who could be starters so that if this guy you have isn't the piece of the golden ticket, which he could be, and then the next year you just get to keep stacking on, that the next year you can just move off of it because we're not going to go anywhere next year anyway. So sadly, we continue to experiment, but maybe with more firepower and find something that may work out. That's kind of where I am right now. He could prove in his play the next couple of weeks that that's not the case. We still got a little, that's the good thing. We got a little bit of a reason to continue watching this year and to see how this does work out. But at this moment, telling me we're going to trade up for Fernando Mendoza is just like very, very not it to me. That sounds like another move that we look back on and it's like, dang, the Browns messed it up and they set themselves back again when they had a chance to get in front.
But then it goes back to my point, and we had a whole show about this, looking at the Browns' history for the team that's been void of quarterback talent the most in the NFL since coming back in '99.
They don't invest.
You've taken 3 quarterbacks first overall. Like you've taken Tim Couch, Baker Mayfield, and then I think those are the only 2 first overalls, right?
Yeah.
Like everybody else, it's like Johnny Manziel, Brandon Whedon.
I think that they were like all number 22, weren't they?
Yeah.
Like Quinn, Manziel,
So
and
that's
Whedon.
my thing. It's like, and then you just look at like franchises. I don't know, like the Eagles, whatever. That's kind of a different case because Jalen Hurts is people feel different about him. But like what the Bears are doing with Caleb Williams, and I'm not saying Fernando Mendoza is going to be Caleb Williams, but like the Chiefs got their quarterback in Patrick Mahomes in the first round, and I know we could still get him at 5. Your whole point is
I don't know, Holmes is like 7, right?
Mahomes is like 11, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The hell is the NFL doing?
But if we go, what is the, so you're thinking if they use the 2 picks on players this year,
I'm fine.
And
with,
it doesn't-
I'm fine with sitting at 5, and I can. You're telling me I can sit at 5, keep my second.
I don't know
first
that
round
you
pick.
can though,
That's the-
because
that's
look
the
at the
whole
2
thing,
teams
like-
in front of you are the Saints and the Raiders.
Saints aren't drafting a
hear
quarterback.
me on
They
this.
just never do it.
Hear
They
me
never
on
do it
this.
in the
Hear me
first
on
round.
this. Say you don't pick the quarterback this year, you pick 2 players, and then our quarterbacks that we have don't work out, whatever they do. You're saying we're gonna be good enough next year to play our way out of drafting a quarterback or being in a position to do it the next season with resources.
Say it again.
So we pick 2 players with the 2 picks. We pick, like, say, a receiver and a tackle.
Okay.
Yep.
The quarterbacks we have, whatever room we assemble based off whatever happens the rest of the draft this year, and none of them work out. You're saying the team would play itself out of, with the first round pick they have the next season, being in a position to just draft the guy at the top of the draft the next
Absolutely not.
No,
or
I-
with
I see
trading an extra pick to be in
I
position
see what
to
you're
do it
saying.
again
I just
next
don't
year.
want to live in a world where, once again, Browns have an opportunity to get X quarterback. In this instance,
Okay.
Fernando Mendoza, and he turns into an All-Pro.
Okay. In this scenario, we're assuming we trade up.
But again, then it comes back to, well, okay, if he got drafted by the Browns, he wouldn't have been an All-Pro. The Josh Allen theory,
It's-
right? Like,
yeah, I hear you. So, but we're saying now we're sold on Fernando as the 1-1. This is what the talk that we're going to start
I
talking
mean, I'm
about
not
going in.
sold. There's a lot of college football to be left. I want to see how he plays in the biggest stage. Like, if he goes out there and gets outplayed by Julian Sain, then I'm gonna be like, well, that's kind of what I watched Dylan Gabriel get outplayed by Will Howard. Like, I don't know.
That's the
But
thing,
are
though,
we-
like, 'cause,
are we
like-
moving there on this draft class that we're saying we're willing to take a shot on a guy this year that we'd risk 2 picks
No,
to get
I don't
one
know if
guy.
I'm there yet. I just
That-
all
okay,
I know
so
is I
that's
want.
just where I'm saying
yeah.
I'm at.
I see it both ways though, because like that's why Andrew Berry made the trade last year, was that they didn't like any of the quarterbacks in last year's class, so you made that trade to get the extra first round pick to get your QB in 2026. Like, you could only continue to kick the can down the road for so long, especially when you see teams like the Broncos. They're able to move off that Russell Wilson thing and that Russell Wilson money because they've got Bo Nix on a rookie contract, and Bo Nix might not end up being the end all be all. They might be winning games in spite of Bo Nix, but the fact of the matter is he's a rookie quarterback on a rookie deal, and he's getting the job done, and they're right up there atop the AFC. Like, I see it both ways because, Rob, I do hear what you're saying. Like, there's a world where you can actually win games and be watchable and have fun with Mac Jones at quarterback next year, but then still draft your guy for the future in 2027. I just think that, like, in order to get a head coach that's going to be worth his weight in Cleveland, you're going to have to tell him you could do with these draft picks what you want. You're going to have 2 first rounders, and you've got your own in 2027. Do with them what you want. And my inkling says that a new head coach is going to want his own quarterback right out the gate, and he's going to want a complete clean slate of Shador, Dylan, bringing in a vet. Any of that, I think, just gets left behind, because I think a good head coach is going to want his own QB.
I'll leave it here currently is, yes, I agree that Bo Nix and the Broncos, and they've done what we've asked for. And I don't remember where Bo Nix got picked. I feel like it was like mid-first round.
No, it was like 12, I think.
Yeah, he was like
or high
teens.
mid-first round. I feel like that draft class. Okay, I feel like people are talking about the quarterbacks this year, and at this stage, they might start to hype them up, but it's pretty similar to what we had last year. In this scenario, well, wait, hear me.
Not even at this time last year.
Hear me, but I think some of them have some talent. I think there's about 3 quarterbacks I could get behind seeing as our guy, which is about what it was last year. We ended up with Mason Graham and Quinshon Judkins versus what in that scenario would have been a trade up for Cam Ward. Fernando Mendoza is currently the guy that we would be thinking about versus a receiver and a tackle. It's up to you guys. It's what would you choose? Obviously, this year, with what we have, hindsight is 2020. You're saying you're taking Mason Graham and Quinshon Judkins over if we had traded up and got Cam Ward or whatever, if we had taken Travis Hunter, the debate, straight trade. I'm saying next year, I think it's the same thing. I would rather take the 2 players because we're just still that devoid of talent over the quarterback. Time will tell. We'll see how the quarterbacks perform. We're a long ways away. Maybe they do. But I feel like if you're the coach and you come in and you immediately handcuff yourself to a quarterback, which is what they would want to do, though, if that fails, that's how you get back on the carousel. And I know I'm being a little counterintuitive with how I'm usually scared money doesn't make any money. I'm just not sure if I'm willing to bet on these guys. I just haven't seen it yet, but we're in the big part of the college football season where you're going to get to see. So some we're going to continue to talk about. But right now, I'm just not sold that I'm willing to go all in on the table yet.
I understand that because I can see both scenarios making sense, but I just watched the Patriots and the Broncos, 2 best records in the league right now. What do they have in common? They just drafted a young blue chip quarterback, Drake May and Bo Nix, and they're reaping the benefits of it. And look, Sean Payton, he went out on a limb. Whether you think Bo Nix is good or not, they hired him. Got rid of the Russell Wilson bullshit, kind of similar to our Deshaun Watson, whatever this Dylan Gabriel Shedeur Sanders bullshit is, and it's not Shedeur Sanders'
The picture will definitely
and then
be
you
more
get a
clear
coach,
soon.
he goes on, gets his quarterback, and then things work out.
We'll be able to get. It'll be clear.
I want to real
foggy.
quick. I want to read some of these comments we got in our YouTube
Oh,
because I appreciate people talking.
You got people in here live?
Yeah, Marie. She says, instead of talking about getting a new quarterback, why don't you guys discuss how Kevin Stefanski is sabotaging the team?
I've been saying fire him. I've been on that since.
But come on, sabotaging the team.
Sabotaging the
thoughts?
team by being a bad coach is what I'd say. He should be gone. And I think
Wyatt Teller had good highest rating last game, but is being benched, and he said he isn't injured. Shout out.
That's weird.
What is
that shit was so, especially because like before the game.
What is up with that?
I like before the game they do the whole like, and now everyone like clap for Wyatt Teller's 100th star. You put the graphic on the scoreboard and all this shit, and like have him stand out in the cold and fucking do one of these, right? And then like you bench him for Tevin Jenkins, who's also on an expiring deal. Like that makes no sense.
I feel like we all were in complete. I was saying fire Kevin pretty early in the year, but I think we were all in complete agreement after the Jets game that he had to go. And then he mismanaged another game. I mean, you threw a tight end out there with 2 seconds on the game clock, told him to do a QB sneak, and you couldn't take a timeout. But I've been on this with him for years. The offensive guru hasn't had a good offense for years. So, yeah, I won't go as far to say he's losing on purpose, but I'll say he's sabotaging us by not being a good coach. He might just not be built for it anymore. I'll go there to say that for you. Marie or whoever, as you said it was Marie in the comments. I agree.
Shout out to Marie.
Shout out Derpy for letting us know Brian Hartline left for South Florida. Marie continues to say, sounds like he's trying to set up Shedeur on that O-line again. Fire him ASAP. Laz the Goat says, Fernando Mendoza is not Caleb Williams. I don't think any of us compared him to Caleb Williams, if I'm not mistaken. Alive Tree says, what are y'all talking about? This draft is ass besides the wide receiver class. Why not build around Shedeur Sanders with wide receivers?
Okay, never mind.
If y'all think getting a new quarterback is going to change anything, that's laughable. Well, that's how the NFL works. Said, bro said Arch Manning, you don't have an eye for talent.
I've been on the draft Carnell tape.
Could I say real quick? I've kind of turned back around to being back in on Arch Manning.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm kind of in on it.
Lord,
I'm saying,
Lord be with us.
If you take if you take him a year from now with another 12 games of starting experience under his belt, like I don't think it's crazy with his pedigree. I'm not saying go take him 1-1.
I think he has a little bit of an it factor. Like everybody had him written off for dead, and ever since then, like if you look at his numbers and if you look at how he's played, he's actually been pretty decent. Like I think he actually really put in the work that's required to be a really good starting college
You got an
quarterback. I'm with
appetite
you,
for
Jack.
that,
Like,
Ryan?
Hey,
And whoever
You got
said that we don't have
appetite?
that for talent, Arch Manning right now as it's today can throw the ball down the field better than either quarterback on the Browns roster. So
Yeah.
I'll tell
you
you
got
what.
appetite
I'll tell
for
you
that?
what. I would be so intrigued and would love to watch Arch Manning play against that Buckeyes defense again. You know,
Yep.
a couple months later, I'd love to see him play that. And see if anything's different.
he's developing, he's growing. Like if it's not, I
I'm
doubt
out
that
on
it's going to
Arch,
happen in
bro.
2026, but in 2027, I could sign up for it.
I can't get behind that one, bro. You can talk to me about a kid in North Texas or something before Arch. I'm cooling. I'm cooling, bro.
he's so young though.
Live Tree continued to say, and I vehemently disagree with this one. In a way, I get their point, but Bills are in the same boat as the Browns. I don't know about that. They got a good quarterback with no time
I'd
around
take
him
Josh
besides the
Allen
running
right
back.
now.
I suppose I understand the point is, and we're talking about the strategy of, well, Josh Allen's wide receiver one is maybe Dalton Kincaid, Keon Coleman being healthy and active.
The Cookie Man.
Yeah, 8-ball's gone,
Did
right?
you hear what Cam Newton said about Keon Coleman? It's becoming a viral clip.
Mm-mm.
It's
No.
becoming to me. I'll show you guys after the show. He fried him, bro. It's bad. But yeah, it could work like that where the team, the quarterback could only raise the tide so much, and that's kind of what we're seeing in Buffalo. And it's been a steady decline ever since they parted ways with Stephon Diggs, who is his guy, and that was kind of the whole big thing with the offense. They got James Cook, who has his big games every now and then. But yeah, you got to put the guys around him. Even you've seen it with Mahomes the past couple years where the offense there has been struggling a little bit. The great quarterback where you've seen him hit these heights can only do but so much, especially with the defenses adapting, making them play underneath, making them be perfect all game. At some point, it's going to get a little rough for these guys, no matter how good.
I also think, you know, we're in an interesting era. We're kind of, at least it seems like, hopefully getting away from the Chiefs dynasty. Like, you just go back the last decade, and it's kind of like the fruits of our football, right? Like, this last decade is truly where we've gotten doctrined into the sport. Like, you see one of the best to ever do it, Patrick Mahomes. He's the only one raising Super Bowl trophies. Jalen Hurts, that's an interesting one. It's like, obviously, there's a phenomenal team around him. So you can say over what you will. And then you had, a year of Nick Foles. I guess it's like an Eagles thing. And then you had Russell Wilson to a point who won a couple. Then it was the Brady dynasty, right? But like I feel like in that period and before that, Peyton Manning won a couple, Drew Brees won one. Like you had Big Ben, you had Aaron Rodgers. There were so many more quarterbacks winning Super Bowls. I felt like if we would have gotten into football 15 years earlier. So maybe
Ryan,
we're stuck on the fact that we need some superhuman at quarterback.
To your point with Mahomes and maybe this all being over if they don't make the playoffs and stuff, it kind of makes you feel a little bit better about the Browns, because even if the Deshaun trade worked, were you going to get past Mahomes? Were you going to able to get past, like he's owned the AFC over these last couple of years. So like now to me, it's time to get serious because that big extension's kicked in. Andy Reid, who knows if he's going to stick around. Like you've gotten to use all of your mulligans if you're Haslam, because actually what you tried and failed, it didn't really matter because Mahomes was still at the top. Like through all of that, like you made the Watson trade to compete with him. But even if that would have worked out, who's to say that you could have beaten Mahomes? So now that reign of terror might be over, like it's time to lock in right now. Like it's time to get serious right now because it feels like we're getting back to an era of the NFL that could have a lot of parity.
It's a 2-3 year puzzle. I just don't want to see us go too all in on 1 year that we break what
Guys,
could be it in 3, if you know what I mean. That's kind of what I feel like the big idea of what I'm saying.
We do have Cleveland Browns breaking news. I know this is everyone's been dreading this report. The Cleveland Browns have designated quarterback Deshaun Watson to return for practice via Adam Schefter.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, 21-day
Wow.
practice window
Wow.
is indeed open.
Bomb dropped.
Deshaun
Okay,
Watson.
so what week are we in?
14.
He's
Are
gonna
we
get the
getting
Joe.
the-
He's gonna get the Joe Milton
Are we
game.
getting the week 18 start?
We're
for
getting the
Deshaun
Joe Milton, the
Watson?
Jeff
Is that
Driscoll,
what that is building to? Is that what I'm
we
hearing?
just might.
Wow.
We just might.
Wow.
the meat locker.
Mecco Green says Arch doesn't throw a better deep ball than Shador, nor does he throw a prettier ball. So a lot of people out on Arch Manning. Nick, we got to tell everybody about FanDuel and get the hell out of here, dude.
Absolutely, guys. You know how fast NFL game days move. One big play and everything changes. That's why
Big
betting
play.
on FanDuel is literally a game changer. With FanDuel, you can bet in real time as the game unfolds. If the score just flipped, jump on a new spread or the live money line. That wide receiver's hitting up, bet the next touchdown score or total yards. Think that drive stalls in the red zone? Take the live field goal prop or just fade the total. Live player props, team totals, drive results, updated spreads, next play markets. It's all there on FanDuel. It's fast, it's fun, and with our friends at FanDuel, your live bets move as quickly as the game does. So whether you're riding the momentum or fading the hype, FanDuel puts you in the middle of every single moment. Visit FanDuel.com/bigplay to download the app and bet the NFL live all season long. Must be 21 plus, present in select states. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com.
Well, shout out Zach Jackson, a little clarity here. He says the Browns opening Deshaun Watson practice window. That means the team has up to 21 days to activate Watson or keep him on the pup for the rest of the season. No way guarantees he'll be activated or that he will play. All right, Jack, we've done this before. Throwing out a parlay of the day. Take it away.
All right, let's do it, folks. We're starting out. We got Zoomass at home against Harvard. A little battle in Boston. We are taking the Minutemen to get this one done, and then we're heading out to Y-Town. We got the Gwins at home against Wright State. We're taking Youngstown State, Y-State money line. Then heading out to the court, Louisville walking into Fayetteville. Rob, that's a tough place to go play basketball, right? Little woo pig suey. We're taking Arkansas on this one, plus odds. And then last but not least, the Blazers come into town. If we lose this one, we're going to be calling for David Blatt. So you got to think the Cavs got to get this one done. We're going UMass money line, Youngstown State money line, Arkansas money line, Cleveland Cavaliers money line. Let's get it done. Let's get back on the right track, Ryan.
Alrighty, you heard it here first. Appreciate everybody tuning into the Big Factor and the Big Play Sports Network presented by FanDuel. Ryan Tyler, Jack O'Rourke, Nick Pannone, Rob Watson. Have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday, and we will be back tomorrow. Same people, same time. Until then, have a wonderful day, and peace out.